To Soul Speaks. And I am your host, DJ Day. Thank you so much for coming back and tuning in to another episode of our spiritual podcast over here, Soul Speaks, on the Calliowood Radio Show every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. That is PST. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I hope everyone's having a great grand rising, grand afternoon, wherever it is, wherever you are. So, with this first episode, I want to open up with a letter from Source I channeled and want to share with you guys before we get into this episode. And then we'll dive right in. I want to just fill you guys up with, an encouraging message today, something to boost up your energy, let you know that you're not alone in this world and that we're all in this together. We got this. So, a letter from Source. You are loved. Many shifts and changes are upon the horizon. So shift. Be all that you can. Feel, experience, love deeply. Do not hold on to pain. Override the intent to kill. The solution is not a simple one. You must get creative. Never sacrifice your imagination. It holds the key to your escape. Live in the here and now. The biggest reward of them all. Savor every drop of air that kisses thy lips, so you can transcend and ascend much higher. You sit amongst temples of dead kings, so don't act like you rule the world, but become the earth's crust. Embark on each coastal wave. Push the bounds to return back home to rest amongst the towers. That is so beautiful. I hope that you guys can have some fun deciphering this letter, and I hope that something in there has resonated with your heart and your soul. So today we are going to be talking and speaking about us being energetic sponges, okay? We're talking about how we absorb energy. We absorb everything we touch. And so it is so important to be aware of what we are watching, what we are listening to, even what we are wearing, because we are always absorbing something, even whose hands you're shaking, who you're hugging, who you're interacting with. You need to be very mindful of your energetic field and the space that you're taking up. We're always taking on new information and new data. So sometimes you might be wearing somebody else's energy consciously or unconsciously, or vice versa. Somebody might be trying to, impose their energy onto you, and you might not know about that. That warfare might be trying to shape and mold you into something that you are not, because you may not be in a stage where you know self yet, quite yet, or know who you are. So this is going to help people, start to be aware of some signs and some things out here in the world that are just everyday things that you might just take a glance at and might not think anything of it. But, that is another layer of spiritual warfare, of these attacks being hidden in plain sight, um, of different energies of people, items, etc., holding certain frequencies uh, that will dampen and lower your state of vibration. So, some main topics that we'll be speaking on today, of things to just be aware of, is beauty and cosmetics, clothing and jewelry, music. Okay, we're going to be speaking about the power of words and word magic in everyday life, and then media, entertainment, and food as well. So, getting into the beauty and cosmetics of things, okay? So spell work okay, and rituals can be done over certain brands that you wear to get you to either buy more, or in a way they also feed off of your insecurities, okay. um I could be naming names, but I'm just gonna say the top brands, you know what I mean, out there. So I'm hearing, Fenty, I'm hearing, um what's it called, I'm hearing Mac, okay, I'm hearing these I'm hearing Forever 21, okay, I'm hearing like what else, just for example, those are a couple for example, okay. So these brands and these a part of marketing is, they are into witchcraft, they are into demonic stuff, okay. So you don't know what these manufacturers are putting into these products, okay. That's another one. You don't need it, one, okay. So the first thing of the word magic of their doing in these marketing is selling you something, first of all, that you don't even need, okay. It's a scam, all right. These people are charlatans, spiritual charlatans, and sneaky cunning foxes here, like Pinocchio out here trying to sell you pipe dreams, okay. It's all at the end of the day a scam to get you to buy more, to empty your pockets, to make you feel like you're not beautiful, that these people have something that you do not possess, which is complete and actual BS. All right. Another point I made, you don't know what they are putting in these products, okay. Not only, is it chemicals, okay, that you're putting on your skin, but then you're also putting, some of these have like animal feces in it, okay. Some of these have dead bugs and ground up shit in them, and like all, it's like when you really do your research and look into like what the fuck is going into this stuff, you're better off going out in the sun and going natural. It's going to take a little bit to get that stuff out of your pores and get your skin reset. But like I tell you guys, I do music and everything. I grew up on stage and performing, and one thing they'd have us do at a very young age is cake yourself full of makeup and get out there under the boiling hot lights and let that shit bake into your face. It is not fun. You're sweating, you are getting all of that shit into your face. And I had no eyelashes because we had to wear like false eyelashes. So all of that glue and everything, when you have to constantly wear those and put that, you don't really have a lot of your eyelashes. All the mascara and stuff is ripping those out. What else, your skin is all rough and in the texture and everything, because you're wearing all this makeup, heavy makeup and everything, when you're not supposed to be. And so you're breaking out, and so then to cover up that up, you get more makeup to conceal that. um and I don't know, my face hurt. Like, it's not, I really don't believe the sentiment of that, like, beauty is supposed to be pain. um I mean, beauty has its own challenges being beautiful, but it's all just a mindset. It's all a mentality, and what you are on the inside, um, will, I 110% believe, will exude from the outside. And we have a lot of these people out here that get plastic surgery done, that are pretending and lying to you guys and saying these are all natural bodies. But I'm sorry, that is not what a natural woman's body looks like. That's not. It's a complete, you're lying to yourself, and you're lying to all these people, trying to sell and market an image that is not you. And then we have the youth looking up to an unrealistic standard of something that is not attainable whatsoever. And it's aging these children up as well, and making them go into this stage of adulthood, which they don't need. Kids need to be kids again. They need to be children. They should be painting, they should be outside, they should be wearing clothes that are age appropriate. That's another one we're going to be getting into. This next one, the clothing and jewelry. The clothing has been upscaled so much. I don't. I don't like it. I really don't. It's sexualizing children to where it doesn't need to be. Kids don't need to be wearing crop tops. Kids don't need to be wearing booty shorts. Um Kids don't need to be out here dancing provocatively to adult TikTok dances. They don't need to be doing that. I feel like playgrounds used to be a lot cooler when I was a child. And there used to be a lot more, and it's like as time has gone on, more renovations have been happening. Even where I used to grow up has changed quite a bit. And it's I'm like, these playgrounds are freaking lame. It's like they really don't want children outside anymore playing. They want them stuck inside on their phones being molded by these clones. Okay. So going into clothing and jewelry, all right, everything you buy is being upselled, okay? It costs X amount of money because that is the tag that these designer clothes decided on. All right, because they know that you guys are dumb enough to go out and buy these, okay? This shit is cheap, it's trash, all right, and it's also part of the scam, okay? You don't need to be wearing Versace. You don't need to be wearing Louis Vuitton. You don't need to be wearing. Honestly, these people that are part of these groups are part of this big giant like pedophilic agenda. These that you don't even understand. Like with Gucci and these people, you don't even understand the symbolism about like the symbolism in these items that you're wearing. It's demonic. It's you are signaling to the billionaires that you can be controlled for their agenda. They laugh at us, they mock us, okay? Because people are willing to spend stupid monopoly money, okay, on a demonic shirt with a shit stain because a Kardashian promoted it. And that shirt is really only worth $5, but because the elite put a price tag on it, you're willing to spend $1,000 on a shit stained shirt. Why? Think about that. Back in the day, we were making our own clothes, and that shit actually lasted. This is to get you off of providing for yourself, going into store. It's so funny. I was literally in the grocery store. I was in the grocery store and I was shopping around, and I remember I was getting downloads while I was in there, and I was seeing in my third eye the bazaars and the markets that we used to have, where people weren't coming to the store every single week to go grocery shopping. You would go down to the market, everything would be there, everything would be fresh, everything would be clean. You weren't in a stuffy building, you were outside most of the time, okay? And you would collect pretty much whatever you needed, but you would only really go to the market for a couple things that you couldn't grow in your own place. Okay, it's to take away that independence and get you dependent on them. Okay, because when they do take it away, you won't know how to do anything. We need to get back our independence and realizing if something were to happen in the worst case scenario of events, um, we didn't have a place to go get clothes. We didn't have a place. These people don't care about us. These people that are in charge of these grocery stores, these people that are in charge of these stores where we get our clothes, these people in charge of the cars, everything. If when shit hits the fan, they're gonna be in their little you just saw them go up into space, quote unquote, right? Okay, they are trying to have their own little fail-safe plans to say screw humanity and we're gonna go do what we want to do on our little private jets, and they can go fend for themselves and kill themselves. They want us to kill each other off. Okay, they want if their egos love the fact that they've built a world and a society that caters all the way around to them, not to the divine source, not to creator, but they made something that they think is for them when it's not for them. It's for everybody. We're supposed to be sharing the wealth. We're supposed to be giving back. We're supposed to be helping the earth, helping the trees, helping the animals survive, sustain, so that we can also survive and sustain for future generations. They've overcomplicated and oversaturated the market into you thinking that you need all of this garbage that you don't. What you really do need, they've made you think that what you need is that Gucci belt, but what you really need is to know how to plant some seeds and how to harvest water and how to, you know, uh grow some shit in the case of the natural event. That Gucci belt is not going to do anything for you, all right? They want us to self implode, okay? um Another example is cheap jewelry, the grills, your like your teeth are so important. They hold so much memory. They hold old wisdom passed down from lineages, information that is stored in your wisdom teeth from your ancestors. So you have these weird, like, sadomasochistic dentists in this industry and everything. Like, I always just think of the dentist from um Little Shop of Horrors. Like, for real, like, dentistry has like such a high turnover rate and a high suicide rate. Like, it's not a good industry. Like, like, if our mouths are so important and it holds so much information, all right, you got to go to a whole dentistry school and everything to know how it works. All right, and even then I feel like they still be fucking up. All right, so if there's so much information that's in our mouths, it just makes me wonder if that's just another way to extract information, and dumb down and silence the masses. Like, I'm sure they got other voodoo and other rituals and crazy stuff that they're doing with people's teeth, but and in the industry, like, people don't think it's fucking weird that all these people just get their teeth removed and put these fake horse teeth in. Like, where did you get those teeth from? Like, it's creepy. It's I saw another person talk about, like, it's very dull. It's true. It's very plastic, and it makes me wonder too, like, that whole, when I was talking about, like, them giving us things that are fake for you to go buy it and stuff. Like, how long have they been using AI? Like, I feel like I look at advertisements now and of these celebrities, and I just feel like it looks so fake and AI and generated and, like, just not real. And it makes me cringe. It really does. And the fact that a lot of people are just falling for it, that's also really sad. And I talk about this a lot, especially when it comes to jewelry and chains. As a melanated individual, okay, you will never be a big baller in my eyes, okay, with a gold chain on. I don't even care what color it is. I really don't. If you got a chain that is around your neck, okay, uh you've just lost all my respect. Okay, I've said it before and I'll say it again. My ancestors, they worked too freaking hard to free my people, so you will never ever ever, okay, they were put in chains. Okay, they had that shit around them. A lot of us have been enslaved, so it's a mockery to, if everybody in this world has been enslaved, okay, to then turn around and then willingly put on a chain just because it's dripped in gold and they told you it's X amount of price. Gold is completely worthless now. Okay, these things only have as much power, okay, and have as much price, okay, because you guys are willing to buy it for that. Okay, it's not worth shit. It's fool's gold, for real. And all you're just symbolizing is that you're willing to be a slave to the industry. All you're symbolizing, okay, is that everything that past generations have worked on meant nothing, because here you are, doofus, willingly spending your money, okay, on a chain to prove that you are just enslaved. Like, it's like the genie from Aladdin, like, the cuffs. Like, that's why I also don't wear like a bunch of bangles or bracelets on my both of my arms, on my wrists and everything, because I feel like if you put both of, like, bangles on your arms, you're just showing the fact that you are, like, enslaved, like, binding, putting a bunch of, like, I am free, so I will always just have one thing on my wrist, like on one side of my arm, not put a bunch on both arms, because I will never be cuffed. I will never be chained. I will never want to put that energy out there into the world, that is something that I want to manifest. I am free. My lineage is free, and I will continue to keep fighting for freedom for all, because that is what is due and that is what is just. So, yeah, people just don't even understand the deeper message and the deeper context into the things that you are wearing, the jewelry that is on you. where you're even buying stuff from. I don't even buy a lot of stuff from metaphysical shops because I don't know what they're doing in that metaphysical shop. They could be praying, not PRAY, but PREYing over my stuff. And you just have to be careful. If you feel that innate calling, if you feel that instinct inside of you, or you even stumble upon an item that's supposed to be a protection amulet for you, or you make it's just so much better to make something, or if you are, even being careful about what you're gifted by people, because some people put ill intention in gifts. You just have to be aware and be conscious, because not everybody has your best interest here, especially, even these, you know especially these industries and these billionaires, and they got nothing to lose, so they definitely do not give a shit about us. Okay. um yeah. uh yeah, people just don't understand the examples that they are setting, or maybe they do, but that is just how brainwashed it's gotten. um it's Yeah, they're all in just one big club. um yes, it's Oh, I was saying, okay, yes, that's what I was saying here. Is that I was saying, but it helps us though to see though who is on our team and who is not on our team. Okay, so if there is somebody you see that is all about materialism, wearing chains, wearing all of that stuff and stuff, that they're not woke. Okay, there's also another thing that I think is so hilarious too is these. I will never take advice from a spiritualist, quote unquote, that is wearing Gucci, that is wearing chains, that is wearing a Masonic hat. You know, that they're showing you right in your face who they're supporting. Okay, so there's no freaking way that you can be about freedom and you can be about truths, okay, and you can be about the divine source when you're wearing stuff that makes you look like a sellout. They're telling on themselves. So make notes, everybody, okay? um you see who's on whose team, okay, and they will natural and yeah, it's a worthless piece of metal, okay, that is meant to make you feel worthless about yourselves. All right, it's not real, it doesn't matter. Okay, invest that money that you're making on your dreams. Invest that money smartly, not on crypto, okay, but on tangible physical assets that will actually bring you uh longevity and income for the future. All right, start inventing things, start patenting things that are your idea, start bringing forth things, start claiming your spot in this world. That way nobody can take it from you. Make a mark and do something here that makes you irreplaceable. I made my music, I did this stuff, and I created this, so nobody can ever take that away from me. Right? I will be investing my money into land. I will be investing it into physical things that I can look around and be proud of, that my families and my lineages can be proud of, that will be around. Okay? These Gucci, this Louis, this Prada, all this stuff is going to die out. It's temporary, it's not real. It was built on a fake principle and fake foundations. So that means it will not last. It's pretty much a freaking sandcastle that's about to be blown and engulfed in the wind, because it was never real to begin with. It was all a mirage to get you to funnel money, okay, and get your money, and to get you to lose sight of your mission and why you were here. It's just a distraction. And another thing that's just a distraction is the music industry, right? I hope everybody had a good distraction Coachella. Uh um yeah, that was, they did a lot of stuff out in the open out there. They were doing some, but shouts out to T-Pain. I like the I am a big fan of what did he do? His outfit was very steampunk. Yes, I'm a big fan of that steampunk, but it was very much giving steampunk Mad Hatter. So, shouts out to that. I like that. So, um, but notice how T Pain gets daytime, right? T Pain gets daytime, and Lady Gaga for her satanic shit gets nighttime. Do you see? Daytime Emmys, daytime Oscars, nighttime Oscars, right? Different categories, different strokes for different folks. If you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, you know, certain people do certain things to get certain spots and get certain time slots. Right. There is a spectrum to it. Right. Spectrum T-Mobile. What the heck? Okay. I heard that. Spectrum T-Mobile. What the fuck? All right. So in the music industry, why you have to be careful what you absorb, especially when it comes to music. I rarely even listen to the radio. Okay. The music industry works very hard to try and take us out of our natural resonancy. Okay, this music is curated all the way down from the bass, all the way down to the synth, all the way down to the melodyne, all the way down to the MIDI, all the way down to everything intricate in the softwares in the music industry, the high tech, like the what do you call that, the main software of the music industry, okay, is built to really just take us out of our natural resonancy and frequency, which can be uh felt, okay, through our voices. Okay, your voice when you sing is on a natural divine frequency and natural divine resonancy hertz. It's not perfect. That's what makes it perfect, right? That's what makes it healing. That's also the why when people say, oh, music back in the day used to sound better than music now, it's because people were singing. There was not a lot of digital manipulation, okay, and malpractice going on. So people were already singing with their natural voices, and hence making it sound better because our bodies are attuned to that, and it's healing. It's more healing of a vibration for our bodies to digest. Alrighty. So if you're keeping up with that, how they were able to transform the music industry, first thing is take away all the good singers and the people that actually kill off the Michael Jackson, kill off the Whitney Houston, kill off the people that actually have a can pull forth a divine frequency, a divine resonancy, kill off Amy Winehouse, kill off uh frickin' what's his name, Kurt Cobain. Right, exactly, because these people never sold their souls, they were just sacrifices. That is how the devil manipulates the truth, right there. Okay, that's why they have people that still worship them to this day, that love them to this day. Same thing with Aaliyah. Okay, because they were sacrificed. They didn't sacrifice anybody, they were the sacrifice. Okay, because they were the gift, they had the magic. Okay, so they get sacrificed for these other people that are not talented to suck off of their energy and feed off of them so that they can continue to brainwash other people. Okay, the digital sound is to make everything sound uniform, okay, so that they can alter other singers' voices and pitch shift them to sound like other people. So there's a lot of other singers here that have been pitch shifted that are the same singer, okay, but it's Milli Vanilli, guys. They're just lip syncing, okay, or the certain singers have other like uh I'm not going to go super deep into the rabbit hole, okay, but do your own research, okay? But let's just say for some of the people in the industry that want to sound more feminine, all right, and have a more feminine sounding voice, okay, they'll get a feminine singer to sing for them or pitch shift it, okay, to make it sound more attractive. Same thing for the males that maybe want to have a more masculine sounding voice, they'll pitch their voices down more, okay, or certain singers that are female, there's some female singers that will sing for male tenor voices, okay, and they'll just pitch shift the female voices down, okay, so they sound like a male, but it's really the female, okay, singing for the guy. So, and I hear this shit. That's why some singers sound like other singers. It's because it's probably the same singer 9 times out of 10 that they just pitch shifted. Okay, they're getting really lazy with this stuff. Okay, And I don't mean pitch shifting in like, oh, an artsy way. I mean like pitch shifting. Oh, that's a whole other. Okay, I'm getting told. Okay, what was the song? Okay, all right. Listen to Camila Cabello's song. Oh, I did a dance to it too, but like, Shameless. Shameless, Slowed Down by Camila Cabello sounds like Post Malone. So yeah, and you're gonna find a bunch more of these little thingies like that. So that's just a little one for you right there. That's one that I've noticed that I'm like, oh yeah, they sound very similar. There's also female singers that sound like very similar too. I'm sure like people have had a hard time deciphering. Um, yes, okay, and I said they're all just magicians, okay, not musicians, okay. It's all just a spectacle, okay, to distract you from the bigger point, okay, that they gave up any drop of talent that they had when they sold themselves. Okay, they're selling you an idea, okay, but it's not the truth. All right, it's not their voices, that's not their skin, that's not how their hair really looks. It's all a show, okay. But my issue with it is when they start trying to tell you that this shit's real. Okay, that's where it becomes into that manipulating of the word magic. Okay, that's where it becomes you're stepping into like, okay, Beyonce, that's not your body, right? That's not baby weight, that's plastic surgery. Kim Kardashian, that's plastic surgery. Lizzo, that's Ozempic. Like, fuck. Like, I'm just like, shit's crazy. Um, all these people out here, and maybe it's not Ozempic, but Lizzo just has a terrible personality. That right there is the thing too. That right there is a prime example of you selling people a false identity of who you are, okay, and using other people's energy to get what you want, okay. She sold to everybody that she loved being big and that's the way to go, and being big and beautiful and blah 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 blah, okay, while showing her ass out at a basketball court. I will never live that shit down. That was a humiliation ritual. I can't stand that shit, okay. But then flipping the script whenever it's in her needs, okay, it's these people wearing other people's skin and other people's personalities to come off like they're a genuine person. You're not anybody who's in the industry and like that. You're not a genuine person. You're fake. Point blank, period. Okay? You got to coat yourself up with a bunch of makeup. You got to make a fool out of yourself and look like a whole clown out there, okay? And put other people down to feel better about yourself. I'm not going to forget about, I 110% believe she was a bully to all those other women that she had dancing on her show. Okay, all of these people are freaking bullies that have been through some shit and have and that's what a lot of these people are. If you see in the music industry too, it's a bunch of people that have been put down in their own lives, have been traumatized, whatever they've been through, and they got a little bit of fame, a little bit of power, and they end up power tripping and becoming the bullies and stepping on other people. That's why Lizzo will never be beautiful no matter how much weight she loses. Her soul is ugly and decrepit. Okay? All these people's souls are ugly. They're cold, they're decrepit, and they're gross. And so, no matter how much plastic surgery they try to get, how many times they try to squeeze their body into a tube of the size of a paper towel, okay, to fucking make all those wrinkles go away, they will always, always, always be ugly, and they will always, always, always be below us, the everyday people, okay? Because we did not need to sell our souls and sell out just to live life. Just to live life, period. That's the thing that they have to live with, and that what they're always trying to run from and escape and deny and deny and deny the fact that they sold out, and they got to lie to everybody to the fact that that never happened. The deniable plausibility. Then we all do this one crazy ass thing, but we all need to deny collectively that we never do that. That's how you get fucked up and lost in the sauce, and you end up with physical ailments and diseases by lying to yourself. Okay, by living in an alternate false reality. that isn't true to yourself. Trying to be other people and destiny swap and live a completely different life than what you were destined. And maybe you were destined that, but because you couldn't be patient and learn the actual lessons throughout your lifetimes and you wanted it instantaneously, now you're stuck with your decisions. And now like you're gonna be on top of the like everybody's gonna see the fall of all of these elite people, and they've made their lives so broadcasted, they made everything so public, okay, that you're gonna not be able to see. Everybody's gonna see this for the whole world. Media slash entertainment, okay, we got to remember that media and this stuff, the phones, um the Facebook, Instagram, all these things, it is a tool, okay, it is not reality. We cannot be escaping our own lives into the video games, into these um portals, pretty much these little digital portals that they have given us, okay, we can use these in the palm of our hands. These tools can also be our, oh, I'm getting the correlation to that first message, that I the opening one I gave to you guys from the source. These tools are going to be our key, okay, instead of them, because they were just made to destroy our minds, destroy us from the inside out, to gather information on us, to infiltrate our lives, okay. These tools can also be our solution, okay. It is everything that is happening in this digital space, okay, from the TV to the news to the reports, okay. It's carefully curated to show you and tell you what information the government wants you to think. Okay, it's not real until you let it enter into your reality. It's not real until you make it real. Okay, that's why they try to bring panic and chaos and disharmony to everyday homes, okay, because of what you're watching. Okay, because if you let that paranoia and fear seep into your psyche, then that is what you can manifest. That's why I don't watch the news. I don't watch these things that don't affect my real world and my immediate state. Okay? Because you have to remember, like, you like simplicity is key. Okay? All you can do is control yourself. You can only control you. Okay? So what I'm going to focus on is not issues that are going on in Ukraine are not issues that are going on in other countries, okay? You can still agree that issues and things that are going on are bad, right? I completely think that we shouldn't be going to war and killing people and massacring and genociding. I disagree with that, okay? But you stressing over a child in a country that, like, you have to focus on your immediate circles, because that's like, how do I explain this? I mean, like, spatial awareness. It's like, okay, going back to the computer analogy, we can only take on so much information every day, right? But this world works to bombard you and overload you with pointless information that will not affect you, okay? For example, using emotional manipulation and tactics, all right, to gain control over your psyche. For 2 pennies a day, all right, you can help a starving kid in Africa, for example, okay? First things first, all right? First things first, I'm a realist. First things first, most of these charities are scams, okay? So, first thing they're gonna do with their word magic is sell you an idea that you're being a good person and helping a starving child in Africa, when in reality, they're laundering your money and that child is never getting that money at all and is probably going to die. I know it sounds harsh, but it's the truth, okay? You didn't know that child in Africa existed until Jennifer Garner hopped on that screen because she needs to meet her quota and doesn't even care about this cause, but just is reading off of a script because what are they? They get the best actors to act and gain sympathy and emotion out of you to give them money to a cause that is not really even giving money to X cause. But you would never know that. So by using the manipulation, you think by giving your money away, you are now a better person because you just helped this person in Africa, which never really happened, but you have made that happen in your brain because that is the reality that they sold to you and shaped to you so that you feel better. But it's not real. It's a lie. They're selling you a lie. Okay? So, but what can make you feel like a good person is, going outside and there's a homeless man outside or somebody's homeless or whatever, and you go and you spend, instead of 2 pennies or whatever, you go and get that person an actual some food. You give them some food. Or another way is self-care. You don't need to give somebody something. Why don't you go out and you as a person learn a new skill, draw, I don't know, draw something for somebody, for a friend or somebody that you love, and heal the world that way. That little difference right there, that you drawing something for somebody because you love them and giving that to them, is a bigger gesture and will heal a lot more than making up some grandiose idea in your mind, uh, and going along with what the media portrays to be a good person, right? Going out and going to these like museums and shit, and throwing lasagna on an art piece is not being helping the cause. All right, standing in the middle of traffic and causing up a big jam and maybe getting run over for the Palestinians is not a smart thing to do and is not going to help your cause. It's not. What's going to help your cause is being in the place where the cause is happening and helping from the inside out. Not going to other places and trying to have them take care of your problem and bring a solution to you. We have a lot of problems infrastructurally going on in America that I would like to be solved. And so, as an American, and as somebody who has indigenous people who have settled here first, okay, and I've been around here, all right, in this realm of existence and on this soil, okay, we are better off healing ourselves individually and building up a society from the inside out instead of going to other people places and trying to change them. I feel like, haven't we learned this lesson enough from the crusades? Like, we need to stop trying to go over to other places and fix them and start at home. The media is distracting you from the facts that there are issues going on right now. There's sex slavery going on, human trafficking going on right now in America. Every day there's missing children, okay? So I feel bad, and it does suck that people are being blown to smithereens and other places, okay? But at the end of the day, we got to remember we're humans. We're not God. I'm not the divine. I'm not the savior. I am only human, and it is my job to save myself. And in me saving myself, I know I can help other people. I can't help other people if I'm dead doing stupid things and standing in traffic because of the Palestinians, and I could get hit and ran over and ruin my mission because of some stupid cause that's going on in a completely different country, which is at the end of the day just to distract you from what's going on in America. So do you understand? Do you see kind of um where, like, you if you throw yourself into the fire, you being a sacrificial lamb isn't gonna get you anywhere except dead. We have to think logically. We have to think smart about this. We have to plan. We have to um, be smart, but we're not going to be smart by listening to what the media and what the news is telling us to do. We're going to have to come up with a plan, and we're going to have to take action using critical thinking, the thing that they've been trying to kill off, by using our own brains and our own plans to bring this shit together, to unite the nations, to unite each other, one God, indivisible, one nation. Because this shit's not, until we start bringing that truth into reality, it's not going to exist, because it has never existed, because they've been lying to us the whole time. Do you understand? Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? We've never been united, we've always been divided. We need to get on the same page. You know, I believe humans are closer to computers than we think. Okay. We cannot be fixed in, because we are always going through updates. All right. We are always going through different iOS updates, for example. You know, we as a species may be on different modes. Okay. We might be different versions, we might be different softwares. Okay. um just some, it's just some people are outdated than others, but that's not a bad thing. Okay, what all it means is that we need to start reprogramming and retraining the brain with better processes and connecting software that is that will create new thought patterns and forms of sorry, that will create new forms and thought patterns of recognition that will tune us to a higher frequency, okay, instead of lower frequencies. And then last but not least, it starts with, you know, the food. Again, I will talk about it again. We got to fix this food situation, okay? The stuff that is going into our bodies. I'm so glad that more people are becoming more aware and waking up to what is happening with our food. But this is a very big attack, and it is very, very serious that what is going on right now. This is a part of the chain of life, okay? If they can eradicate um and get 100% control over what we're eating, it will be doomed. Okay, they want to poison us. All right, they want to poison the future, okay, by putting chemicals, the pesticides, inhumane, treating the animals inhumane. It's like what you eat. You know, our stomach is so important. It's like our first brain. And so if they can fuck up the food and treat it terribly, okay, that negative energy you are then too absorbing into your body. All right. I'm seeing the like Krusty the Clown, the Simpsons episode with the Krusty the Clown where they were eating the burgers and everything. Like, it's real. Like, this warfare is freaking real. This is not real food that they are giving us. And we need to start growing stuff again. We need to start helping the farmers out. We need to start um going back to being fresh again, and fixing the soils. You know, that's also going to heal us too. I feel like we're going to get a lot of healing again from being back with nature, getting out of the towers, you know, these Wi-Fi towers. Yeah, and I'm seeing too with the towers. That's them. They build these skyscrapers because they really just want to be gods on Earth, but then they will never be. They will never, because their consciousness is not ascended enough to even understand the fact that godliness and divine presence is not selfishness. You know, you have to get out of that. That's the reason why there is that, the spiritual balance and this awakening, and why we have to go through these lessons and everything, is because it gets us out of the resonancy of I and me, and gets us into the fact and our natural state of being, of we, of I just always want to say wumbo, our natural state of togetherness, our natural state of being one with the earth. You know, all these buildings are just, oh, and I remember I was trying to go to, like, they just, these skyscrapers trying to be up to the sky. It's like they want to be God. They do. Like, they want to touch the heavens. They want to be up there so bad, but they never will be. The second they accept that we are in the here and now, and that they accept that all you can do, we're here on earth and there's nowhere else we can go. I don't want to go anywhere else right now except be right here on earth, because I know there's so many things to do and take care of. You only get distracted and want to start going up to Mars and doing things when you're neglecting the responsibilities and duties that are actually here in front of you, that you haven't been taken care of. You haven't been taking care of the human people. You haven't been taking care of the animals. You haven't been taking care of the water. You haven't been taking care of the air. And yet you want to abandon it like you did to Mars. All these places were thriving. All these other planets were thriving. They were beautiful. They were luscious, just like Earth. But just like what is going on right here, that's what they don't want to talk about, okay? Just like what is going on right here on Earth, all right, everything going to shit is because all these other planets were ruled by these fucking scum billionaires. And they ran it into the Earth, pillaged it for its resources, and hopped in their fucking spaceships and went to another planet. But the issue is they cannot leave Earth. They must sit here and watch us as humans fix the shit that they did and rid them from this place. That is the solution. Honestly, like, they are going to delete themselves off of this place with their stupidity, all right? And the collective remaining people that are here will build this world up to what it once was. I 100% believe that we can do this. I believe 100% that we have done this as a humanity, as a society, as a race. They just want us to forget that. Okay, but I have remembered. I do remember, and I see integrated within, I see Nikola Tesla's dream. I know we can achieve that. I know we have achieved that, because these are all coming from somewhere. We are pulling in these dreams out of the collective consciousness that are being bestowed upon us because we have reached it before. Okay, we just have to reach it in this lifetime, in the here and now, and pull it down into this life. And it's going to take a lot of work, and there's been a lot of blocks, but I 110% also believe that this is the farthest we've made it as a humanity. I feel like they've really wiped us out before and done the resets before we've really even been able to get to this point, okay, with this awakening. So I think we are on a precipice towards changes that this world has never seen before. You know, it has to get worse before it gets better, but I think that we are really starting to see the first real changes of ascension collectively as a group, and us moving towards a common goal and common denominator, which is the health and wealth and safety of the future generation and ourselves included, okay? That's what they don't want us to focus on, is the main prize, is keeping our eyes on the mission, on the goal, okay? Because everybody who sold their soul, everybody who's fallen for the trap, okay, they've fallen for a lie that is going, a mirage that will be ripped inevitably out of their hands, and they will be left with nothing tangible. And those that have sowed their crops and dug their oats in deep and pulled everything out of their mud and are receiving the harvest from the Lord, okay, we will be the ones sitting at our table feasting, while these cowards are getting buried, and will watch as we rise. It's just prophecy. It's what it's always been. That's really what I feel like has been in the movies too, in the Avengers, the prophecy of us reclaiming our power, reclaiming our throne, reclaiming our strength, reclaiming the generational riches that were owed to us, and taking it back with force, with the power of not the sword, but the power of the tongue, the power of our words, the power of knowledge. Knowledge is power. We are going to be moving towards a age where violence is not going to be the answer, but healthy debates. Actual truth will be spoken, and actual solutions will be coming together on one common accord of balance, of truth, of honesty, of justice, of reason. One nation under God, the way that it should have been in the beginning, and the way that I do see and believe we can be as a nation. That's why I do this. It's because I want to speak life, speak empowerment, and speak words of affirmation into everybody at home. And I want you guys to realize that if I can do this, you can do this. Use your voice, speak upon things that truly matter to you, and to make the change. Start with the change you. Start with the mirror. Start with the person in the mirror. Change that. Shift it, become that higher version, and that timeline will all start to shift around you. When we all start pulling in our higher dimensional timeline versions of ourselves and congruing together on one plane in reality with one common goal, putting our minds together, us one by one shaping our realities, okay, that will shape the world. That's supernatural. That's actual power, okay? That's not a bomb, okay? That's not a gun, okay? That's God. That's the truth. That's divine wisdom. That's lineage, power, and strength, and divine code passed down, being actually used for what it was meant to bring forth into this world. Okay, because they didn't die in vain. Our ancestors didn't die in vain. They went through all of that so that we could have our voice, and so that we could speak and be here and ride those fucking buses and be integrated and show these motherfuckers what true power is, without using our fists, without killing, without being stained and dripping in blood and shit like that, but by actually being a good person, by actually putting faith first, truth first, morals, principles, values, family, children first. That is how we can shape this reality. Okay, that's how we can return to our natural state, okay, by purging out lower vibrational entities and lower vibrational forces that do not serve us, rejecting and actually sacrificing the Balenciaga, sacrificing the goat, sacrificing the demons, sacrificing these motherfuckers, and actually not killing them, but fucking saying no, guys. Don't buy that shit. Don't wear it. Don't wear the chains. Don't wear and buy into the false lies. Don't go to fucking Coachella. Don't make your own fucking Coachella, independent artist. That's what I'm working on. Is trying to make something that is free. Make it a real festival of life. Make something that's not based on consumerism. Fuck these people. All right, stop buying into the lies and start building your own paradise. Start making your own fucking heaven, guys, and stop waiting on these devils to drag you down to hell, because that's all they're waiting for. They're just waiting for the day when they can collect on you guys and you can all just bury yourselves, all right? And you just take yourselves out, okay? The devil is lazy. If they can have you take yourselves out and, handle that, they're gonna do that, okay? Let's say no and not let them win. All right. There's always going to be somebody preying on your downfall. There's always going to be somebody preying against you. Okay. So let's pray. All right. For peace. And let's pray. Like, I think there's you feeding these people negative energy is what gives them power. So I instead pray for love and light for them. I pray that they gain understanding. I pray for my enemies because that is the greatest tool of them all. I pray that they are banished, and I pray that they know the truth, and that they are are pillaged from this place. I want them gone. I pray that we get to our rightful place, and those that have tried to stand in our way and stand against us will be burned and taken to the fiery gates of the hell that they have entrapped themselves within their mind. Ashe, so be it. We will rise up. But not in the ways that they expect. No, we will rise up with wisdom and truth and clarity and no longer fall into the traps of the anarchists and the rioters, okay? But we will do this with decorum, with dignity, okay? And if we need to release the beasts, okay? If we need to get down and fight, okay, for real, all right? We will have the divine on our side. That's all that matters. We will be led instead of by man, but by the divine, by God, by source. I didn't even need the cards for this message. Woo, that was a big download. So this is why it's very important, guys. This is why I like say the stuff that I say, because like it's so much bigger than like music. It's so much bigger than jewelry. It's so much bigger than like Ukraine and all this stuff. Like it really does matter what you're watching and what you're listening to and what you absorb and what you see, and because do you want to be a tool and be on autopilot and used for destruction, or do you want to use your free will to bring forth change and something that is going to be everlasting and abundant into this nation? But the choice is up to you. Which pill are you going to take? Red pill or blue pill? That is this episode. Thank you so much for being with me with DJ Day. I love you guys so much. Thank you for spending some time with me. Peace, love, and positivity is being sent your way. Kisses.